leaving my buddy Nate's place. I have to switch this. Some dude out here with the Sedgway. I was uploading a couple videos and I was like, I'm just not gonna upload them because they cover a couple different subjects, but really I'm just gonna put them together. One, I'm one of those people, I don't go jumping from one relationship right into another, and I don't go trying to find somebody else to get interested in as a possible backup, because by that point I just turn my relationship into a backup. I don't believe in cheating in any format. And the whole saying, the quickest way to forget someone is to fuck someone new. No, that makes you a fucking whore. Man or woman, that's exactly what it is. And much as people don't like those fucking words, that's a fucking fact. It makes you stupid. And if you make friends that try to influence you to do that shit, then there's a reason why your relationships are failing or are having problems, because you're surrounding yourself with extremely stupid, toxic people. And then you put that toxicity onto the person you're with. I understand that. Here's my thing. In a relationship, I think both people in that relationship should be able to have friends. And it doesn't matter if they're the same sex or the opposite. They should just know know to have boundaries, and when to set boundaries even for their friendships. It's like, no. I've always been one, I never gave a shit if my friends liked who I was with or not. But I know after a while, it's like when the person I'm with shows no interest that they're in a relationship with me, then there's just no point in saying anything really anymore. There just really isn't. And so I'm going to take my time getting to my folks' place a little bit because they just pulled in. So I'm going to go up and flip around because I want to finish this and don't want to get interrupted. But it's like, I've always believed that, say, for like myself, I'm able to be friends with the opposite sex without even having to feel like there needs to be any form of sexual type intent to it or anything like that. And if I talk to them about anything personal, I make it clear to them I have no interest in anything more. It's just a friend. I'm just confiding in them a little bit into what I'm dealing with. Sometimes it's just to get the female's point of view to understand how I can deal with the situation a little better. Because if you're having, let's say it's any other guy and he's having a problem with, trying to communicate with his girlfriend, are you going to go to another dude to find out how to communicate with a woman? That's probably the last place you want to go. But I also know that when certain friendships start to make the person that I'm with is uncomfortable, then I back away from those friendships. I don't sever them. I don't necessarily end them either. I back away. I don't really communicate. I might get a message once in a while from different ones like, hey, how's it going? You doing all right? And it's pretty much, yeah, I'm doing great. Hope you're doing well. And then that's that. Because I don't want to make the person that I'm with uncomfortable, and I don't want anything like that. I try to respect the relationship first, not my friendships. This hoe before bros type, or this bros before hoes type thing, it doesn't work, especially as adults. It might work when you're in high school, but we're not in high school. It's like my current ex, she used to bitch that it took her forever to get me to break down and have a relationship with her, like to be exclusive. Now, if she put as much energy into keeping the relationship, and instead of putting that energy into other people, and cheating behind my back, we probably would have had a more functioning relationship. I know my shutdowns didn't help much, and a lot of that had to do with I didn't know how to communicate certain things, especially after a while when you keep communicating the same thing over and over again. It's driving you crazy. It's starting to make you look crazy. It gets to the point it's pointless. And then some of the things that I've always tried to avoid, but I've had struggled with in my last relationship, are my meltdowns. And it's like, there's two ways to deal with, somebody like myself who does deal with meltdowns when things become way too fucking much, or even shutdowns. One, if you're melting down, and this is with anybody on the spectrum, if they're melting down and you're with them, that's not the time for you to be screaming at them and yelling at them or anything. If anything, you got to give them space, or try to find a way to comfort the situation, If they're shutting down and they're being quiet, that's not your time to alienate them more and isolate them more and make it more about you. It means that they're trying to process not only what's going on, they're trying to find a way to communicate. And the easiest way to deal with the shutdown is to start talking to them. To basically actually show that you give a shit. So a lot of times when we start shutting down, we're feeling alone, we're processing things, and we just don't know how to communicate it. And so that's when we start stimming a bunch and start going quiet. The selective mutism comes in. No, I just don't believe in the whole jump from one relationship to another, especially when you're already in one and you're out trying to start another one. When it comes to moving, many have already heard me plenty of times, that I was already planning on, at some point selling my home so that we can move, get a home that we can actually afford, that doesn't require all the fucking work, and so I can invest the rest to actually start working for myself. And through that, I didn't want to interfere with their career choices or what path they wanted to go down for what kind of work, but I needed to be in a position that I could start actually doing more and not be putting all my fucking time and energy into repairing and maintaining, to the point that I could barely do any repairs. But I don't appreciate the fact that that decision has been forced. Shouldn't be forced to make the decision. Excuse me. Where I don't have the choice to be able to say, if getting something out of state doesn't work, then I can, try and figure out something here and invest in a business here and work from that. But that choice isn't there anymore. That choice was taken away. When it comes to my folks, I've already been having a hunch for a long while, as much as my dad talks about moving also, going, I want to get the fuck out of here. I want to get out of Oregon. I don't see it happening. That's why I spoke to him this morning. Other than the fact that I've been dealing with a lot of conflicts about, where my mom's concerned, my brother, all that. And then the fact that my brothers are pretty much putting it onto my plate to take care of our parents, while they just kind of do their own shit. I'm at the point, that's why I started pushing, I didn't want to hit these birds right here. It was ironically just going to continue to sit there. I didn't want to be forced to end up having to get a home and then my folks move in and live with. There's no way I can live under the same roof. And then without Melissa being there, that'll make it damn near impossible for me to live there with my folks. Because I don't have somebody there that I can relate to, associate to, talk to, anything. I mean, shit, the last the last couple years, I think I've probably only gotten a few months of time with her to where she actually genuinely fucking put attention to our relationship, while the rest of the time it was always to somebody else or some friends out in White City. And then a new boyfriend behind my back for the last 6 months at least. Now I came to the point that I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have anybody to turn to, and I'm realizing that I've got a lot of shit still to deal with where my family's concerned. It's baggage that I don't put on other people or my relationships, but I do keep caution when I'm around certain people or certain types of people. That's just how I am. And when it comes to like a relationship situation, you know, I'm not looking for that. I don't want one right now, and I definitely am not ready. You know, like I was saying, you know, Melissa got upset. It took her a while to, you know, a few months at least to get me to finally break down and have a relationship with her. Anybody else, I probably would have been single for a lot longer. It's just, yeah. I've been trying to keep my head clear with all this shit, even though it does hurt. At night, it's the worst. At night is the absolute worst. That's why I've just been kind of shutting down and sleeping a whole bunch. I basically do these vids, and that's about it. I don't really do anything else. I think in the entire time that I've been up here at my family's place, I've only been down to my buddy Nate's house like 3 or 4 times. The rest of the time, other than to run to town and grab something to eat or, you know, get a pack of smokes or something and all that, that's all I do. I go into town and I go by, well, I normally go to Beaver Creek. I don't go that far from my folks' place. I just pretty much have shut myself away. Because I'm still dealing with all this stuff, and I'm not sure I'll be ready again for anything new for a long time, and by that point, I probably just will lose interest altogether. I already have it set up with my doctor and stuff like that, and notes that when my NF starts getting to a certain point and gets unbearable, then I'll be coming back to Oregon and utilizing the Death with Dignity Act. I don't have anybody. That all got taken away. And I was always to blame for it, when really I was just sitting there waiting for somebody to decide when I was finally going to be important and a relationship was finally going to be a priority. No, I have to get everything out of my home. It's not my home anymore. My paperwork's already signed. It's not my home anymore. But I've got to get one of those pod things down there for next week. Check this out. But deer, I'm not sure if you... But I got to get everything out into one of those pod things, and then it's probably just, I don't know, because I'm loosely looking for another home still. There's one I was going to try for, but as soon as I found out that they had some kind of under contract thing, I was like, no. It might be one of those things where you buy the house and all that, but the property's under contract, so I'm like, no. I've got a feeling I'm going to end up just banking the money and just sitting on it. Because I really don't know what to do. I'm lost right now. I really am. And this is probably the most calm you've seen me in any video right now in the last fucking 2 weeks. I miss that woman every single fucking day and every single fucking moment. But I don't think I could ever trust somebody ever again who literally had been cheating behind my back for at least a good 6 months. and try to play it off as it was just going on. No, you were doing it back before you stopped fucking paying on the electric bill. Going back and looking at the messages between us, looking at everything that's going on, she was already seeing somebody else. She already abandoned the relationship, and she's trying to blame me for it all. So it's one of those things of, how do you trust somebody ever again after all that? You want to go around and tell everybody that you're afraid that if I found out, I would knock your head off and do all this other shit. Everything that you went around and kept accusing people, or telling people and accusing me of, and that I'm this great big abusive violent monster, you would think I would have stayed home and waited for you to come home to do something. Or you would think I would have fucking left and waited for you to get home, then show up and do something. No, I grabbed my shit, I grabbed my dogs, and I left. As is, I wasn't the one using threats as a way to control my other half. That was you. I kept saying, you need to leave, just get out. Because I got tired of being nothing. I got tired of being, all I was there for is just to be the living roommate that was paying for all the living expenses. That was obvious, especially finding out that there hadn't been a payment on the electric bill since April 11th. It's 2 months now. It's going into the third month. And guess who gets stuffed with the bill? Me, not you. We have a problem of too many women these days who want to act like a man. And we got a lot of men, even like myself, who are becoming more sensitive to be more like a woman in that situation. A lot of women forget where they stand in relationships, just like a lot of men do. Taking advantage of your spouse, even for how little they have, or even if they have a lot, taking advantage of them for any reason so that you can benefit off them and then go fuck around with other people, that's like a child molester going and becoming a priest, like it's gonna fucking fix who they are. That's not gonna happen. All it did was get them closer to more victims. That's all it does. That's why with this move thing, I made sure that, you know, I spoke with my dad about it. And the idea that I had talked to him while I was down at Nate's house. The place that was going to buy his house supposedly was like, well, you'd probably do better if you just put it on the market to sell it as is. Because otherwise we're just going to buy it from you for basically how much you owe on it. So I already knew for the most part my folks weren't going to move. You know, between the trailer that isn't being paid for and all the shit in the house and the way they've just kind of let it go, because it's just been my dad. He hasn't had anybody around to help either. They're not going to be moving anytime soon. That's not happening. And that's why this morning I stressed to him, you know, it'd probably be better if you moved down near my younger son, because at least you'd be able to see him a lot, and your great-grandchild, and, you know, my son's girlfriend, and I'm not sure if they're married or not, because nobody says anything to me. But I was like, you would at least have family right there. I was like, you guys have my Aunt Jane that you guys are seeing again and talking to again. I was like, you're still closer to your only sibling that you have left. Technically closer from here to there. I was like, and it's not hard to hop a train or something to go see my mom's other sister that she converses with. I was like, realistically and logically, everything's right here. I was like, if you want to get out of Oregon, why don't you just go to Idaho at the furthest? You're still close enough by that the different ones can come see you. Well, your brother's moving to this state. I was like, Yeah, and he's still not going to pop around. He's this far away, and you guys see him every other week. I was like, out there, you're going to see him even less. I was like, at least here, my other brother might one day fucking pull his head out of his ass and realize that he needs to step up and be there for his mom and dad too. As much as they fucking sacrificed, including me, to fucking support him all the way through fucking the state hospital and the prison. Well, I dealt with the abuse while he was gone. The least he can fucking do is fucking step up and help take care of his mom and dad and not just leave it on my plate. The fact that I really don't have a choice but to have to look for a home somewhere else kind of makes things hard. The fact that I'm still dealing with some freshly reopened wounds, basically, from seeing that video really reopened some wounds, because it not only, was a reminder of what I dealt with a long time ago, that a lot of shit I, for most part, had buried away or dealt with. Only realize I'm still going through that same shit, just with different people. So, I mean, like I told her a long time ago, and we got arguments over it many times. I said, if I wasn't a part of your life and you're no longer around, you would have everybody else back because they hate me. And it all goes back to me being disabled. I know the comments that have been made to me, even by my youngest child. I'm just thankful that you at least taught me to have work ethics. I knew what he meant by that. They think I just gave up because I can just do what I used to do all the time at ease. It's like, I would have been willing to push myself further if the person I was with actually gave a shit. Like, I had no more energy. I was being mentally drained. I was already physically breaking down. I might have been willing to push harder if people actually gave a shit. It's like, why should I continue to make an effort anymore? My body broke down to the point I couldn't work anymore. And ever since, I've been trying to find other ways to work around that. And when it comes to things that are at my home that were getting done, who else did I have to turn to for help? If I didn't do it, who would have done it? Not a fucking person. If I hadn't done what I did, I sure as fuck wouldn't be selling it for twice as much as I got it for. And I could have got more out of it, and then if I listed it, I would have gotten 3 times as much. Because I put that work into it. But because of what's going on, what's happened, all this shit, and all this crap going on, I was forced into this. Because you're not going to get me to stay down there with somebody in town that I don't want to fucking run into ever again. I don't ever want to fucking... I miss her daily, and she tore my fucking life apart. She fucked my head up. And this is somebody that I gave everything of myself to, and they threw it away for some friends and a new fuck buddy. And the only way she could justify doing what she did is to go around and fucking demonize the shit out of me. She destroyed my life. And my child helped her. That's called parental alienation syndrome. They should probably look it up. I had my life destroyed. And with my spine basically crumbling in 3 different places from my neck to my lower back, I have to reassess and figure out how I can do this shit and somehow be able to have a normal working life. I can't do that trying to repair a home all the time by myself, trying to maintain what I can, and a fiance that's cheating on me. And then demands that I do all this shit for her. When she's been cheating on me the whole time that we've had this house, basically. And that's how I see it. Every fucking time she left, she was out fucking around cheating. That's what she admitted to me by saying what she did. I'm interested. That means you've been cheating on me for this entire fucking time. And I bet it's still the same person. The fucking dude that looks like a male version of little Honey Boo Boo's mom. Same dude that had a needle in my fucking back telling me it would be great to pull a train on my girlfriend right in front of his wife while my fiance's sitting there giggling about it. You never stopped. Would you do more for somebody who all they've done is demonize you for 4 years? And would you do more for them if they cannot accept your situation with your health? Would you do more for somebody who does nothing for you at all in the relationship other than basically tell you you're a piece of shit and you're worthless, and that they would rather go spend their time with someone else? Would you put effort into somebody who would only give maybe a week or two of their time to you before they go back to giving it to everybody else? No, I just got to a point. I don't know what to do. I'm lost. I've been so emotionally drained, and it's partly why I've been shutting down a lot here lately. Like, I'm passing out 2 or 3 times a day. I go out. I'm out for 2-3 hours, like at most, like hanging out at Nate's, or like yesterday. I think it was yesterday down at the park. Otherwise, I'm at my folks' place all day long. I'm trying to cope with what's going on and deal with it. I don't have any interest to go out and do what they did and go find somebody else before I'm done dealing with what I'm dealing with. Things might be over between us, but good or bad, I don't go from one relationship to another. That just says I didn't give a fuck about you.